Superannuation.
Yes.
Okay, superannuation is a type of private retirement saving. So in Australia we have both voluntary superannuation and we have compulsory superannuation. We've had voluntary superannuation for about 150 years, and in about 1990 the coverage was just under 50% of workers. And then in 1992 we introduced compulsory superannuation. So you may have heard something called the superannuation guarantee, and that requires employers to make a 9% contribution to a superannuation account of their workers. So that was introduced 20 years ago, and it now covers about 95% of workers. So it's like a compulsory private retirement savings scheme. The problem is trying to work out how to pay for people who are already retired, because people who are working, the workers and their employers are making contributions to the national pension system so that when they retire they'll get benefits. But the problem is how to look after people who are currently retired, where it's too late for them to make contributions. In many countries, such as Australia, governments set up safety net pensions which are paid out of general revenue. So in Australia we have something called the age pension, which is not contributory, it's paid out of general revenue, and almost everybody over age 65 will get a public pension.
65.
Over 65. And the problem is for a country like Korea is how to fund this, because most countries have had budget deficits and they're looking at having to cut back on government expenditure and having to raise taxes. So it's a very difficult issue, and it's about fiscal priorities, which is there something else that Korea could spend less on so that it can give a higher benefit to older people. One of the things that's most important, I think, is to increase the coverage of workers. So I know the Korean pension system is a voluntary system. The government doesn't require that everybody belongs to a pension system. So I think it's important that the coverage of workers increases. And that can be done in a number of ways. It can be done by government making it compulsory. It can be done by government giving tax concessions. But it also can be done by the industry itself trying to sell its product and trying to educate and inform people through marketing campaigns, for example, that it's important to save for retirement in a pension fund. In Australia, for example, even though we have a compulsory system, the financial services providers are actively marketing to young people, to 20 and 30-year-olds, to encourage them to think about saving more today, because if you save a little bit today, by the time you retire at 60 or 65, that little bit creates a lot of retirement income. So I think there's an important lesson for the financial services providers to specifically market themselves to younger people, to convince them of the importance of saving.